Hello guys, Dr. here, and today I wanted to discuss a bit about archetypes and their utility in IS. In the past, I've discussed about individual operators and whether they were good or not, but sometimes it can be useful when you're starting out to take a look at archetypes as a whole and determine whether this is an overall good archetype for IS or not. As a basis, archetypes that can do multiple things, what is usually called role compression, are good in general for IS, so that's why today I'll give you my personal top 10 best archetypes you should focus on to play IS when starting out. Of course, these are only general guidelines, and it's much better to know what each unit do individually before bringing them into IS. Number 10. Loop shooters. Loop shooters are basically anti-air snipers with extra steps, boasting a decent attack for a low DP cost. In essence, this class is deceptively simple, but what makes them stand out is their range and those 3 ties that allows them to hit enemies even behind them. In a game mode where new players often lose a couple HPs here and there and then feel the need to compensate by taking HP over other choices in encounters, I feel that loop shooters can help greatly by catching slipping enemies, which allows to not get punished despite bad positioning. Number 9. Merchant Specialists. Merchants are pretty much jack of all trades. Some deal damage, bind, heal, push. It's that versatility coupled with their low redeployment cooldown that actually makes them great when starting out. This low redeployment cooldown is extremely valuable when discovering new IS because they minimize the risk of tackling an unknown map head front, allowing you to make more mistakes since these ones won't get punished. Number 8. Shaper Casters. This archetype could honestly be higher if there were more operators in this class. Shapers is inherently a strong class for low diff IS, boasting decent stats and the ability to summon stuff for free that can deal damage or take the aggro for you. Starting a run with Techno or with Eblana essentially means starting a run with 5 operators, which ensures a pretty easy early game. Like all summon classes, they fall off in the late game, still the sheer value you get from them early on is enough to put them at 8th place. Number 7. Tactician vanguards. This is something you'll notice a lot in this top, is that there's a lot of fast redeployments or summons, and Tactician vanguards is basically both. If we exclude a certain vampire, the sole issue with tacticians is their low DP income, which is actually not a bad trade-off for being essentially a 2 units in one. Whether you want to use those summons to block, CC, or deal damage, they will work fine. And yes, even if your name is Vigil, getting a pseudo sniper as well as a blocker on top of DP gen is a lot of role compression, and that's what makes this class its strength. Number 6. Mech-accord casters. For general use, Mech-accord casters are basically better core casters, and much like loop shooters, the fact that their attacks can follow enemies even outside their range can be a very powerful asset. Do not be deceived by their low base attack. Since they hit twice, Mech-accord casters actually have a very high DPS, and they also have a bunch of synergy on a lot of IS, for example with Hand of Undulation or Broken One Absorb. They are pretty much the go-to caster archetypes for unknown stages, particularly when it comes to their 6-star global range operators. Number 5. Incantation medics. If we exclude anomalies like Calcit or Monster, Incantation medics are among the only medics capable of dealing damage, which makes them really strong in IS. Being able to bring what is essentially a core caster with added healing on top is surprisingly useful, as any form of DPS can help you in IS. Recruiting Incantation medics can help you mitigate a bad run where you get unlucky and get a ton of medic vouchers for no reason, which definitely didn't happen to me a lot when I started playing this mode. Heh, that would be silly, right? Number 4. Summoners. For those who don't remember, one of the earliest non-developed account strategy used for IS-1 back in the days was using Scene, since her summons are both tanky and powerful, and honestly, this logic still holds up today. Summoners are inherently good in low difficulty IS since they come with block, decent damage, aggro taking, and even regeneration. Sand Reckoner and Magellan are unfortunate exceptions there, particularly Magellan, whose summons can't block at all and deal little damage, so I might have to add summoners who can deploy on melee times however. Number 3. Trap Masters. Take summoners, increase their damage and range, make their summons one-time damage instants, and you get Trap Masters. And I'm not just talking about Wong who does whatever the fuck this is, but really all trap masters are fine, though for different reasons. I'm afraid 2 of them will forever be gated behind a collab. Still, even to this day, Robin is still a very good tool for a new player, and Dorothy, with her mixed damage and access to unlimited range bind, can shred a lot of early maps all by herself. Number 2. Agent Vanguards. Since their release, all Agent Vanguards have been meta in IS, and there's various reasons for that. Them being pretty much fast redeploy operators allows them to function like assassins to get rid of one dangerous target on the field while generating DP, and do it again after 30 seconds. All of them also synergize naturally with ASPD, which is pretty easy to increase in various IS. Whether they are low or high rarity, there's not a single agent that is useless. I don't think I can recommend to upgrade more than one, still, only upgrading one of them is already plenty. Before jumping to number 1, I wanted to make one honorable mention to that archetype. Guardian Defenders. Guardian Defenders are defenders that heal, which sounds good on paper and is kinda good in practice, particularly when some like Blemishine even deal damage, but the thing with those is that the two lowest rarity ones, Spot and Gummy, are usually enough, and the higher rarity ones tend to be overkill. It's a really strong archetypes in theory, but it usually won't help you win a run. Yes, Saria and Shu are both strong on their own, but also not really necessary to win a run. Finally, number 1 is Lord Guard. I think there's a reason why among the 6 starting units, 2 of them are Lords. It's an extremely beginner-friendly archetype that can both hit air and from afar, so a very versatile class that actually doesn't sacrifice much for all the abilities they have. With the exception of that Larper Frostleaf, honestly, any Lord Guard is worth upgrading when starting out in my eyes, particularly those you get at the start. And that's it for this ranking, guys. Feel free to post your own in the comments, leave a like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.